That massive container ship unloading your Amazon packages at Long Beach, it's flying a lie. The red, white, and blue stripes of Liberia flutter from its stern, but this vessel has never touched African shores. Its owners are Greek. Its crew is Filipino. Its cargo originated in China, yet legally this ship belongs to a West African nation most Americans couldn't find on a map. This isn't an isolated case of maritime confusion. 90% of the world's merchant fleet, the ships carrying your gas, food, and electronics, fly flags from countries they've never visited. These so-called flags of convenience allow ship owners to dodge over $50 billion in taxes annually while skirting labor laws and safety regulations. The Greek shipping magnate registers in Panama, the German logistics giant chooses Liberia, the Japanese conglomerate picks the Marshall Islands. This flag mystery reveals a hidden system that shapes global trade. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to when ship flags actually meant something. For centuries, maritime law operated on a simple principle. Every vessel must fly the flag of its owner's nation. This wasn't just tradition, it was legal necessity. The flag state, the country whose flag a ship flies, holds complete jurisdiction over that vessel. When a ship enters international waters, it becomes a floating piece of that nation's territory. The flag state's laws govern everything: worker wages, safety inspections, environmental standards, and tax obligations. If a crime occurs aboard, the flag state investigates. If the ship pollutes, the flag state prosecutes. Before 1950, this system worked exactly as intended. 95% of ships flew their owner's national flag. British shipping companies registered in London. American firms chose New York. German operators picked Hamburg. The connection between ownership and flag was direct and logical. This alignment created accountability. When a British-owned ship caused problems, Britain faced diplomatic consequences. When American vessels violated international law, Washington answered to other nations. Flag states had skin in the game. They couldn't ignore problems with their registered fleets. The system also generated substantial revenue for maritime nations through registration fees, tonnage taxes, and crew income taxes. Traditional shipping powers like Britain, Norway, and the United States built their maritime bureaucracies around this steady income stream. But this traditional system broke down after World War II. The first crack in this centuries-old system appeared in 1925, when Panama passed a revolutionary law. Any ship owner, anywhere in the world, could register their vessel in Panama, no questions asked. The Panamanian government didn't care if you were Greek, American, or Japanese. They didn't inspect your ships or audit your books. They just wanted your registration fee. Panama's motivation was pure economics. The country needed revenue, and ship registration offered easy money with minimal oversight costs. Within 5 years, Panama registered its first foreign-owned vessel, a tanker owned by Standard Oil. The precedent was set. Ship ownership and flag nationality could be completely divorced. But Panama's early experiment remained small-scale until World War II changed everything. American corporations, facing massive wartime shipping demands, needed vessels fast. Traditional U.S. registration involved lengthy bureaucratic processes, strict safety requirements, and high labor costs. Panama offered a shortcut. The real game-changer came in 1948, when Liberia launched the world's most aggressive ship registration program. Unlike Panama's ad hoc approach, Liberia created a sophisticated system designed specifically for foreign ship owners. The mastermind wasn't Liberian, it was Edward Stettinius, former U.S. Secretary of State, working with American steel magnate Daniel Ludwig. Stettinius and Ludwig established the Liberian Registry in New York City, not Monrovia. American lawyers wrote Liberian maritime law. American accountants handled the paperwork. American executives marketed the service to global shipping companies. Liberia provided the flag. America provided everything else. The results were staggering. Liberia's registered tonnage exploded from zero in 1948 to 25 million tons by 1970, making this West African nation the world's second-largest maritime power overnight. The Marshall Islands followed the same playbook decades later, and now registers 15% of global tonnage despite having just 59,000 residents. These early adopters created a template that dozens of countries would copy. As of 2024, 3 tiny nations control nearly half the world's shipping. Panama leads with 330 million gross tons registered, more than the next 5 countries combined. Liberia follows with 230 million tons. The Marshall Islands rounds out the top three with 190 million tons. These numbers reveal an absurd reality. The combined population of these three maritime superpowers? Just 4.2 million people. That's fewer residents than Los Angeles County, yet they legally control 40% of every cargo ship, oil tanker, and container vessel on Earth. Panama transformed from canal operator to shipping registry through pure geography. Ships already pass through Panama Canal. Why not register there too? The country leveraged its maritime infrastructure into a bureaucratic empire. As of 2024, Panama's ship registry generates over $100 million annually in fees alone. Liberia took a different approach, outsourcing everything. The Liberian International Ship and Corporate Registry still operates from Virginia, not Monrovia. American lawyers handle the paperwork. American inspectors conduct surveys. Liberia collects the fees, roughly $60 million per year, while American contractors do the actual work. The Marshall Islands perfected this model. This Pacific nation of 59,000 people scattered across 29 coral atolls somehow registers 15% of global shipping tonnage. Their secret? The registry operates entirely from New York City. Marshall Islands officials rarely see the ships flying their flag. Each registration brings these countries between $500 and $5,000 annually per vessel, depending on size. Multiply that across thousands of ships, and small nations generate hundreds of millions in easy revenue. No infrastructure required, no actual maritime expertise needed. Just a flag, a law, and a willingness to look the other way. But the real surprise is what ship owners get in return for these fees. Ship owners don't pay millions in registry fees for patriotic reasons. They're buying something far more valuable than a flag. They're purchasing legal invisibility. First, there's the tax advantage. When a Greek shipping company registers in Panama, their vessel legally becomes Panamanian property. This means zero Greek corporate taxes on shipping income, zero capital gains taxes on ship sales, zero inheritance taxes when the business passes to the next generation. The Greek government can't touch profits from a Panamanian ship, even if it's owned, operated, and managed entirely from Athens. Then comes labor arbitrage. Flag states set the rules for crew wages, working conditions, and union rights. Traditional maritime nations require minimum wages, overtime pay, and safety protections. Convenience flags offer none of these luxuries. The average crew member on a convenience-flagged vessel earns $1,500 monthly. The same sailor on a Norwegian or German-flagged ship earns $4,000. Safety inspections become optional theater. Norway conducts rigorous quarterly inspections of its registered fleet. Panama inspects ships roughly once every 5 years, if at all. Flag states conduct 90% fewer safety inspections than traditional maritime nations. When inspections do occur, they're often cursory paperwork reviews rather than actual vessel examinations. Environmental violations spike under convenience flags. Ships flying these flags commit environmental violations at 3 times the rate of traditionally flagged vessels. Why? Because flag states rarely prosecute pollution cases. Even when they do, fines are minimal, often less than the cost of proper waste disposal. But the most shocking benefit isn't tax avoidance, it's legal immunity. In international waters, ships become floating pieces of their flag state's territory. When crimes occur aboard convenience-flagged vessels, investigation falls to countries with minimal law enforcement capabilities. The Marshall Islands has no maritime police force. Panama's Coast Guard covers just coastal waters. Ships can essentially become floating lawless zones beyond meaningful enforcement reach. This legal vacuum extends to labor disputes, environmental crimes, and even human trafficking cases. Ship owners operate with near-complete impunity once they leave port. These benefits come with serious consequences for workers and the environment. The consequences of this lawless system aren't theoretical. They're written in oil slicks and human misery across the world's oceans. 75% of major oil spills involve convenience-flagged vessels. And the pattern is always the same. Disaster strikes, investigations stall, and accountability vanishes into bureaucratic black holes. Take the MV Wakashio, a Panamanian-flagged bulk carrier that split apart off Mauritius in 2020, spilling over 1,000 tons of fuel oil into pristine coral reefs. The ship was Japanese-owned, Indian-crewed, and Chinese-built. When Mauritius demanded answers, Panama's maritime authority, operating from a small office in Panama City, claimed limited jurisdiction. The environmental disaster cost Mauritius over $200 million in cleanup. Panama paid nothing. Workers bear the heaviest cost. Over 2,000 seafarers are abandoned annually on convenience-flagged ships when owners simply walk away from unprofitable vessels. These sailors, often from Philippines, India, or Bangladesh, find themselves stranded in foreign ports without pay, food, or passage home. Flag states rarely intervene because they lack consular services or simply don't care about foreign crew members. The MV Aman, flying a Comoros flag, left 37 Indian sailors stranded in China for over 2 years. The crew survived on charity while their families back home faced financial ruin. Comoros, a tiny island nation with no maritime enforcement capability, ignored repeated pleas for help. The sailors finally returned home only after international media attention forced intervention. Meanwhile, legitimate maritime nations watched their shipping industries collapse. Traditional maritime powers lost 60% of their registered tonnage since 1980 as owners fled to convenience flags. Norway's merchant fleet shrunk from 12 million tons to 4 million tons. Britain's fell from 30 million tons to 7 million tons. These countries invested centuries building maritime expertise, safety standards, and regulatory frameworks, only to watch ship owners abandon them for tax havens. The human cost extends beyond individual tragedies. When ships operate beyond meaningful oversight, safety standards deteriorate industry-wide. Convenience-flagged vessels experience accident rates 40% higher than traditionally flagged ships. These problems have sparked international efforts at reform. The international community isn't sitting idle while the system wreaks havoc. The European Union has blacklisted over 40 convenience flag operators, banning their vessels from EU ports until they meet basic safety standards. Port state inspections, where destination countries inspect foreign flagged ships, have increased 300% since 2010. This port state control represents the most effective workaround to flag state failures. When Panama won't inspect its registered ships, Rotterdam will. When Liberia ignores safety violations, Singapore steps in. Major ports now share inspection databases, creating a global network that convenience flags can't escape. Yet fundamental reform remains elusive. The International Maritime Organization, shipping's global regulator, requires unanimous consent for major changes. Countries like Panama and Liberia hold veto power over reforms that would eliminate their primary revenue source. The $150 billion annual shipping industry lobbies aggressively against any changes that might increase costs. The system persists because it works exactly as designed. For ship owners, until consumers demand transparency about the vessels carrying their goods, or governments impose sanctions on convenience-flagged imports, this maritime shell game will continue. Every product in your home likely traveled aboard a ship flying the wrong flag, and that's exactly how the shipping industry wants it.